A recent study finds that multilingual individuals tend to have a younger estimated brain age with earlier second language acquisition and higher proficiency, leading to a slower brain aging process.
여러 언어를 구사하는 사람은 그렇지 않은 사람보다 뇌의 나이가 더 젊은 경향이 있으며 특히 제2 언어를 이른 나이에 배우고 능숙하게 익힐수록 뇌 노화가 더디게 진행된다는 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. How interesting.
Yeah, I'm happy to know at least one part of my body is a little bit younger or staying young. But I have heard that when you translate or shift between two different languages, that helps to prevent Alzheimer's or dementia later on in age. Okay. So that might also be a little bit related to this. But yeah, a new study suggests that speaking multiple languages may help to keep your brain a little bit younger. Researchers found that the estimated brain age of people who spoke 2, 3, and 4 languages appeared 6, 7, and 13 years younger. So maybe the more languages you speak, the more younger your brain is. And the study also found that learning a second language at an earlier age and achieving greater proficiency were linked to slower brain aging. While the findings point to potential cognitive benefits, researchers did caution that other lifestyle factors may have also influenced the results.
Exactly. 730명 정도의 사람들의 뇌 활동을 이제 연구했습니다. 이 사람들은 뭐 스페인어, 바스크어, 프랑스어, 영어 이런 다양한 언어들을 하는 사람들이었는데요. 그랬더니 이렇게 2개, 3개, 4개 언어를 구사하는 사람들 같은 경우에는 한 가지 언어만 구사하는 사람들에 비해서 뇌의 나이가 많게는 6년, 7년, 13년 더 젊다라는 연구 결과가 나왔다는 굉장히 놀라운 결과입니다. 1, 2년도 아니고요.
Yeah.
다만 이 사람들의 생활 습관은 들여다보지 않았어요. 그래서 거기에도 또 뭔가 있을 수는 있기 때문에 그게 이 연구의 한계이기는 한데요. 어쨌든
Well, it's an entry point for more studies in the future.
맞아요.
Yes.
그래도 이 700명 이상의 사람들을 연구했을 때 대체적으로 평균적으로 봤을 때는 언어를 많이 할수록 뇌의 나이가 젊다는 거 이거 유의미한 것 같아요.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at 제2외국어 습득.
Yes.
In English?
Yeah. Second language acquisition. Yep. This was actually in the title of my master's thesis because this is what you study in linguistics when you're studying to become a teacher for a second language, when you're trying to teach another language to students. So acquisition is when you're acquiring something.
Yeah.
And when you're acquiring a second language, that means you're learning another language. So this just describes the process of learning an additional language after establishing a native tongue, and it describes the scientific discipline studying this phenomenon.
네, 제2외국어 second language 습득 acquisition이라고 합니다. 자, 그다음에 이제 무언가를 굉장히 유창하게 하거나 능숙하게 할 때 그걸 명사 형태로 proficiency라고 하죠.
Yeah, I mean, we use this for language, but it doesn't have to be for language. It can be for anything, for learning some sort of skill. But it's the state of having great skill, competence, or expertise in a specific area or task.
Yeah. So, you know, the big tests we have out there for English proficiency, like TOEIC, TOEFL, IELTS, you know, these tests your English proficiency.
Right.
얼마나 영어를 이제 능숙하게 할 수 있는지를 테스트하는 것들이죠. 이런 테스트들이 다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. A recent study finds that multilingual individuals tend to have a younger estimated brain age with earlier second language acquisition and higher proficiency, leading to a slower brain aging process. This is headline number 4.
Online bidding has begun at Sotheby's for NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang's autographed iconic black leather jacket, which is expected to fetch around $60,000, with proceeds benefiting a nonprofit that supports innovators and artists.
젠슨 황 엔비디아 최고 경영자가 직접 사인한 그의 트레이드마크 검은색 가죽 자켓이 소더비에서 온라인 경매에 들어갔습니다. 이 자켓의 예상 낙찰가는 약 6만 달러, 우리 돈으로 9천만 원 선이며 경매 수익금은 혁신가와 예술가를 지원하는 비영리 단체에 기부될 예정입니다. Right, so it's for a good cause. Tell us more.
Yeah. So it's his signature black leather jacket, and it's headed to auction at Sotheby's with an estimated sale price of $60,000. So it was donated by Hwang, and it's the same jacket that he wore at Honhai Tech Day in Taiwan in 2023. And both the jacket and his signature have been authenticated, of course. And the jacket has become a symbol of Hwang's leadership, I guess, in the AI industry. Kind of like, you know, how tech CEOs, they always seem to wear the same thing.
Yeah.
And that style kind of symbolizes their leadership, their identity. So I think this is why this auction is making waves, or it's making splashes.
And it's Jensen Huang.
Exactly. Even the seat, I think, that he sat at
In Busan?
in Busan, and the last time he was here at the chicken place, they're all, it's a big deal. Everyone wants to sit there, right? They wait in lines to sit there. So, like I said, it's kind of drawing comparisons to Steve Jobs' iconic black turtleneck. So proceeds from the auction, which runs from July 7th to July 17th, it will benefit the nonprofit that we mentioned that supports innovators and artists.
네. 이 경매 수익금 전액은 비영리 단체에 기부가 된다고 하니까요. 굉장히 좋은 일에 돈이 쓰이는 것 같아요. 영어로는 It's for a good cause 이렇게 표현을 합니다. 자, 사인을 했어요. 근데 영어로는 signed라고 하지 않고 뭐라고 하죠?
We call it an autograph. So if you want to get someone to sign something for you, you do not go up to them and say, can you give me your sign? You say, can you give me your autograph? Or you can say, can you sign this for me? But that's a little bit different in meaning. You would do this at like a company when you want them to sign like a paper for you. So this is an autograph. It's usually refers to like a famous person or maybe an author adding their personal handwritten signature to an item for a fan to keep.
네. 서명하는 거는 사이닝이라고 해요. 그래서 서류 뭐 이런 거 우리가 이제 도장 찍듯이 서양에서는 사인하고 우리나라도 요즘에 이제 도장 대신에 사인할 수 있죠.
Yep.
그런 서명하는 것은 사이닝이라고 영어로 표현을 하고요. 연예인이라든지 뭐 이렇게 젠슨 황 유명인들의 친필 사인을 받는 것은 autograph라는 또 다른 단어를 씁니다.
Yeah.
그래서 can I get your autograph? 이렇게 명사로 쓸 수도 있고 could you autograph this for me? 동사로 쓸 수도 있어요. 근데 이제 명사가 조금 더 일반적이긴 한데 여기서는 Jensen Huang's autographed jacket. 젠슨 황의 오토그래프가 들어있는 친필 사인이 있는 자켓을 얘기하고요.
It's a nice jacket.
Is it?
Yeah.
그렇군요.
It's an expensive jacket.
그렇군요. 네, 알겠습니다. 자, 그다음에 it's expected to fetch around $60,000. 경매에서 많이 쓰는 표현이죠. 낙찰가가 이 정도로 예상이 된다라고 할 때 it's expected to fetch 얼마.
I think it might fetch more.
It could do. We don't know. This is
Yeah.
just an estimate.
Yeah.
한 17일 정도면은 이제 최종 낙찰가
Yeah,
발표되는
it
것 같아요.
just started, so we'll find out. We'll
그래요.
find out later this
네,
month. Yeah.
맞아요. 7일부터 17일까지 이제 낙찰이 진행이 되니까 그 final bid price는 그때 되면은 나올 것 같고요. The proceeds will be going to this, what was it, non-profit.
Yes, nonprofit. So proceeds refers to the money or profit that's been generated from a specific activity. In this case, it was a fundraiser, basically. But it can be from like a sale of an asset or a specific event. So in business terms, when a company sells something or like sells a business division, you can say that was the proceeds from that sale as well.
수익금을 proceeds라고 합니다. S 붙여서요. 그래서 proceed 아니고 이건 또 다른 단어인데 P-R-O-C-E-E-D-S proceeds 수익금이 it will go to a non-profit. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Online bidding has begun at Sotheby's for NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang's autographed iconic black leather jacket, which is expected to fetch around $60,000, with proceeds benefiting a non-profit that supports innovators and artists. Now let's move on to the final headline.
A study by the University of Copenhagen finds that adolescents who get insufficient sleep face a higher risk of diabetes and obesity as each additional hour of rest stabilizes blood sugar levels and reduces daily fluctuations that can trigger inflammation.
수면을 충분히 취하지 않는 청소년은 당뇨병과 비만 위험이 더 높아질 수 있다는 덴마크 코펜하겐 대학의 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. 이 연구에 따르면 수면 시간이 1시간 늘어날 때마다 혈당이 안정적으로 유지되고 염증 유발의 원인이 되는 1일간 혈당 변동폭도 줄어드는 것으로 나타났습니다. So, all the teenagers out there,
Yeah.
you should sleep early.
Yeah. It's so hard though because they
Yeah.
have so much to do.
Tell us more.
Yeah, so this new study, it suggests that teenagers who get more sleep have more stable blood sugar levels, which may lower their risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes. So researchers found that each additional hour of sleep reduced daily blood sugar fluctuations, which is an important marker of metabolic health, even though average blood sugar levels rose slightly. And the researchers said that adequate sleep can reduce sugar cravings and help regulate metabolism over time. And they emphasize that simply going to bed earlier could be an effective way for young people to improve their long-term health. And I think this might apply not just to adolescents, but to adults as well.
Yeah, definitely. 자, 수면 시간이 그러니까 1시간 늘어날 때마다 혈당이 안정적으로 유지가 되니까 거꾸로 말하면은 수면이 부족해지면은 이 혈당의 안정성을 우리가 이제 보장받지 못하겠죠.
Yep.
그러다 보니까 지금 특히 이제 10대들에 대한 연구긴 한데 청소년들 너무 늦게 자면은요. 나중에 이제 당뇨 뭐 관련된 그런 질병들 네, 걸릴 수도 있습니다. 혈당이
Yeah.
많이 오르니까요. 근데 물론 지금 이제 청소년, 아주 건강한 청소년의 경우에는 당뇨병, 혈당 이런 거는
It's
나랑
not-
뭐 관련이
yeah,
없는
it's not a big
너무
concern,
먼 미래
right?
얘기 아니에요.
Yeah.
이럴 수도 있지만 그렇지 않습니다. 지금부터 관리를 당연히 해야 되겠죠. 그래서 충분한 수면이 필요하다는 그런 연구 결과가 되겠는데 수면이 부족할 때 우리가 You don't have enough sleep 이렇게 말할 수도 있지만 또 뭐라고 할 수 있죠?
You say you have insufficient sleep. Insufficient means it's not enough, not sufficient. So you're getting a shorter duration, or it could also be lower quality of sleep. So that means you're waking up a lot during the night, or maybe waking up in the middle of the night, or just tossing and turning a lot, although you may think that you are sleeping. So it's lower quality of sleep than what is required to maintain normal daytime alertness, health, and cognitive function.
자, insufficient가 불충분하다라는 뜻이고요. 그러다 보니까 insufficient sleep라고 했을 때는 수면 부족이라고 해석을 하면 됩니다. What about to stabilize your blood sugar levels?
Right. To stabilize something means to make it steady and prevent it from fluctuating or deteriorating. So you can apply this to physical objects. So like stabilizing something that's rocking,
Yeah.
or medical conditions like we mentioned, or even abstract concepts like economics. You can try to stabilize the economic condition or maybe diplomatic relations.
네, 요동치는 무언가를 안정적으로 유지하는 것, 안정시키는 것을 stabilizing이라고 합니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼까요? A study by the University of Copenhagen finds that adolescents who get insufficient sleep face a higher risk of diabetes and obesity, as each additional hour of rest stabilizes blood sugar levels and reduces daily fluctuations that can trigger inflammation. Well, that's it for today's headlines.